To the hospital. Stop, turn your face. Turn your face. Yo, let me see my man's face.
Yo, just step back.
Yo, look, and they got the taser shit to his head.
Father figure. Very point.
Why?
Because he like, everybody, if it wasn't for the gym, everybody would be outside on the block getting in trouble. Like he used to bring everybody in. He used to tell them, get out the street, get out the street. Before, like, he used to do dumb stuff, go on the bridge, throw stuff at the people. One time he seen this, like, cops came, like, oh, I need my kids to stand 30 to start bringing us to the gym and stuff like that. That's why he used to, like, everybody come to the gym every day. Like, it's a positive thing to do. Step with someone else. Like, he took me to Albany on a trip, a college trip. No, it wasn't really a college trip. It was a trip to me. Cause I wanted to be an accountant. He told me, like, he knew I wanted to be an accountant. He took me to Albany, law school, and some stuff. They had mad jobs in there. He showed me different stuff. Like, he made me want to be better. You know what I'm trying to say?
Very honest.
Honest. How important is he to the community?
Like starting the community center, so then teenagers can stay out of the streets.
Can you give me a memory or an event where he helped you become a better person?
Oh yeah, when we was in the gym, no, cause I've been going here for a long time, so he taught me how to be, I don't know, be yourself, like be an honest person growing up, and he taught me how to follow my dreams and don't give up on anything.
How did the center feel the couple of days Mula wasn't here?
They felt empty.
Felt empty?
Yeah.
Even though it was full, it felt empty without Mula. Do you think the cops, what happened to Mula, do you think it's because the cops have a disconnect in the community?
Yes.
Why? Like, because all he does, you figure they would know, like, he's not the person to, you know what I'm saying, to
fight back with him.
He's about, what is Mula about?
He really cares about us. And he's all about making sure everyone's okay.
Giving. He's very giving, yeah.
How important is he to this community?
I think he's very important to this community. He has a bond with all the teenage kids and all the young kids that came after him. You know, he's a big role model for all of them.
Can you give us a memory or an event where he helped you become a better person?
I can't give one specific memory, but I can say that for the last 4 years, he's definitely been by my side to help me learn how to grow in team program. And, you know, he showed me a lot of the ropes and what it takes to build bonds with the teenage kids here at this community. So I can't name one specific memory, but, you know, he's done a lot for me the last 4 years that I've known him. Yeah, definitely. I think it puts a spotlight. I think it puts a spotlight on situations where cops don't necessarily know everybody in the community. You know, they don't know who are the role models, what kind of people have say, you know, who the kids look up to, and who has an effect in the community. So I definitely do think it's an eye opener for that.
Do you think we can use this, even though there's a negative? Do you think we can turn this negative into a positive?
We have to. You know, I think that's our only option. Is we can't. The only way to make this situation better is to make it a positive. You know, make sure that future events like this are handled more appropriately, and making sure that this is the first one to making sure we have better understanding between cops and the community and the members of the community.
What do you think the teen center would be if somebody else was running it and not Mula? You think it would be the same energy? You think the kids would love it as much?
Because to them, he's one of them. You know, he came from the same places as them. He's been through the exact same struggle. So to see him in a position of power where he has effect on the teens under him and a generation after him and other young kids who see him, you know, he's not out there selling drugs, you know. So to other kids, they can say, I want to be like him. You know, he's getting his money legit. He has power where, you know, he's affecting kids, and you know, he's a good man.
Jason.
Caring. He's a big part of what we do in the team program. Like, he brings everybody together, takes us on trips, and just makes everybody feel comfortable. Like, even if you're not from here, people that just come in and like we just do a lot of things with him, like family does. About 3 years ago, I remember He took us to Albany for like college and stuff like that. It was a pleasure.
We brought you on a college trip. So is Mula somebody that you look up to?
Yeah.
Does he show you? Is he somebody that shows you that is more than just being out in these streets?
Yes.
With actions and words?
Yes.
How important is it that he is the director at Team Night? Why do you think?
Mula, he knows us. He knows us. We grew up with him. We grew up seeing him. He was always like a big brother to us. And like somebody else here, they really want to understand us. But Mula understands us.
If the cops knew who Mula was, that probably wouldn't have happened, right?
Definitely.
And so, do you think that the cops need to do better at knowing who are people in the community that give back and empower the youth?
Yeah.
How did you feel when you first heard that happened to Mula?
It hurt me. I felt it. It's like, because if it happened to Mula, it could happen to any of us. Because Mula is like, he's a good person.
Were you scared?
Yeah.
Fun.
How important is Jason or Mula to the community?
He's important because he takes us out the streets. He takes us on trips. He opened a gym for later times than he's supposed to sometimes. Like, I was getting mad at something, like I was arguing with somebody, and he said be the bigger person and walk away from it because that was a waste of your time.
Is Mula somebody you look up to?
Yes.
Why?
Because he gave me, like, when he used, like, during the school year, he used to work in the daytime, and he gave me, like, he let me come here volunteer than me staying outside just doing nothing.
So, you think Mula is a good person and a role model?
Yes.
And you think that what he does in the community is very important?
Yes.
Inspiring.
How important is he to the community?
I feel like he teaches all of us young boys to stay out the streets and try to just like focus in on something positive to do in life. One time, we was about to fight another project, like in the middle of the street, like everybody was going wild. And like we was jumping them and everybody was going wild, and mind you, the precinct right there. So he ran out and stopped all of us, and like he split us up and he made us talk it out, and everybody ended up being friends after that, and we all started playing basketball together.
That's valid. How did you feel? How did you feel when you found out what happened to Mula?
Shocked. He's a positive effect in all the boys' lives, and he like on my peers' lives. He motivates us to like focus on basketball and school. He even teaches us it's more than basketball, it's school and education and stuff that we gotta take care of, and getting us ready for jobs and stuff.
Caring, down to earth. Without him here, there'll be a lot more crimes, a lot more violence. He is the community. The kids look up to him. I was angry. Just see him like going into a car to go to a Lincoln Hospital. Like his face is busted, his lip is busted. He has scratches all over, and he was tased for what? Helping the cops.
Do you think that this is an example of how, even though they're connected, they're clearly disconnected?
Absolutely. Because there's no way in hell that the 4-year precinct can call and say, oh, they starting a riot, and then you got PSA 7 out here trying to calm everything down. So how's PSA 7 on the same time as everybody else in the neighborhood, but 4-year precinct's not? And they ran up the block. Where, like, I couldn't function. So everybody's like, every 30 minutes, everybody's like, hey, anybody speak to him? Anybody speak to him? It's just like, it's different. It's weird. So like, I'm traumatized. Like, I would never be the same ever again. Like, I see his face. It's nope. Black Lives Matter.
Awesome. Very important because it keep me from being in the streets, keep me out from being in the streets, and let us do activities and stuff. It's a good experience. It had been many of times that he had made me become a better person. I was surprised. I wouldn't know he would be in a situation and stuff.
How did the gym feel the past couple of days, him not being here?
I feel like he was like left out and stuff. Like, it's just like I want him to be back in the process, in this process of seeing him alive and stuff, like, because he had helped me a lot of times with problems I was suffering and stuff.
So, cool person, not bad, you know, very important. Keep the kids out of the streets.
What else? Why?
Because of the gym time he opens, the gym sometimes. most of the time. And when kids in the street, he helps them out, you know, just walk past them and stuff like that. Or when I was messing with kids, I was bullying, but in the way I was playing with them, it wasn't bullying to me. And he said, parents are starting to come to me and stuff, and just stop bullying kids, you know. Because the way other people look at it is bullying, but as you think you're playing with other kids. So I hope me become a better person, not to play rough with other kids and stuff.
Okay. Has that affected you outside of the community center?
Yeah, definitely. Not to get in fights and stuff.
Yeah. So like that one little thing he told you has helped you out way beyond the center.
I felt sad. I was surprised because I knew Mula don't get into problems. So I felt surprised, like, wow.
Do you think that is a miscommunication from the police department?
Definitely. Because from my perception, what I heard is like he's trying to break things up, not to, you know, add few to it, trying to defuse, trying to take a few out.
A leader, professional, community advocate. He's a young role model for today's youth. He's awesome. Oh, he's very important. He has such a big impact on the community in such a positive way. He's always doing community things, and I watched him be a kid himself in the center and watch him grow and take on positions and be involved, and knew that he had to be involved, and knew that he had to show his friends and his community that it's more than just the streets. So Mula, I'm impressed because I saw him grow up in the center for about 5 years and watch him grow and watch others follow him and be such a leader in a positive way. It's just amazing how he just took on a role, and as he see how things work, saw how the community needs not just him, somebody to follow, somebody in his same situation, somebody that's from his same background, somebody that understands exactly what these kids going through and what their struggles are, and he's a prime example of what that is, and he came out of it as a positive man, and he gives back to his community every day. Engaged, very engaged, and I don't even know if I can talk anymore, but I'm starting to get to tears.
That's powerful. Mula inspires me. You know, I see a lot of myself in Mula in regards to, like you said, Mula starting to do what I've been able to do as a grown man at an earlier age. So, you know, to see him do what he does in the community, you know, wake up, go to work, take a break, come back and do the team night, put himself on. I mean, he puts himself on the line every day. You know what I'm saying? He opens the center up. So, you know, it's inspiring. And so I think that, you know, when something like this happens, it's we have to hold the people accountable that, you know what I'm saying, that made the mistake, because I think it's a mistake. And I think that if they knew who Mula was as a person, or if they cared to be a little bit more invested in what he does and in who he is rather than what he looks like and what they perceive him to be, this never would have happened. And so I think that this now provides an opportunity for us to hold not just the cops up here, but, you know, the system accountable, that just because we look a certain way or we move a certain way or we dress a certain way, don't mean we can't be leaders, don't mean we can't be pillars of the community. And I think that this is going to provide us an opportunity to shed light on that and hold the system, the cops, you know, the judicial system, the DOC, the DOJ accountable, you know what I mean, of typecasting us. When I first started, because I'm not from here, so I've been working here for 7 years, but so I'm not from the Bronx. So when I first started working here, you know, I was like an outsider. I'm still an outsider, but like kids know me. So, you know, I'm not as like, you know, they're not as standoffish when it comes to me. But when I first started working here, you know, they was like, yo, who's this guy telling us what to do? Like, yo, you bugging. You know, I almost got into a couple fights or whatever. And like, so Mula, he did a good job at, you know, because Mula from the streets, I'm from the streets. I'm not from these streets, but the streets are the streets. And so, you know, he was like, yo, it's not necessarily about you know, you doing anything wrong, but you got to understand we a tight knit community. You know what I'm saying? Like we grow up in these projects together, so we're not just trying to hear somebody random telling us what to do. And it was good coming from him because like I said, I see myself in him, and I respect him. I think that he also taught me or reminded me that age is not a determining factor of maturity or experiences. And I know Mula has gone through a lot in his life. He's lost a lot at a very early age, and I think that's part of what's molded him to the person he is today. So he reminds me every day that the hope that you can come through or live through adversity and you can still give back and be a leader. He reminds me that you don't necessarily have to be a grown man or have to be successful or have a certain amount of money to give back. You can do that, in the skin you're in right now. And so I think that, he also allows me to use him as a pillar in the kids that I deal with outside of here. Like, yo, listen, I know a young man right now, 25, 26 years old, and he runs a whole teen center. So when a young man tells me, yo, I can't do this or I can't do this, it's like, yo, facts, that's a lie. You lying to yourself, and I can show you somebody who's doing what you say you can't do. And so I think that's inspiring, and I think that this is why we're doing this, because we need to be able to, one, uplift somebody who probably doesn't get enough credit as he should, and two, to use this as an opportunity to hold the people at fault accountable in a way that we can be heard. And so I think that this is going to help us mobilize by us being able to speak the language of how we appreciate somebody in our community, and the young men and women being able to do that rather than internalize their feelings. Then we'd be able to take these words and turn them into actions. And I think that that's a very powerful thing. And I think Mula is, if it happened to anybody else, I don't know if it would have been such a powerful reaction. I don't know if people would want to get in front of cameras and talk about why they like this person, because I don't know if they would be able to say why for everybody else, because I don't know if everybody else is doing what Mula's doing. So I think that nothing happens by mistake. I think that it's unfortunate, but I also think that it happened to Mula out of everybody else because the universe, God, Lord, whatever you believe in, has ordained Mula to do the Lord's work. He does God's work. And so I think that now it's going to be taken to another level. And in order for him to stand up to the adversity, he had to be thrown in the fire himself, because he protects people that are in the fire. And now he's thrown in the fire himself. It's going to force him to even become a better leader. It's going to force him to grow and evolve into something even more powerful than he is right now. So it's exciting, it's inspiring, and I'm on board. Anything Mula needs, that's what we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? We rocking with Mula.